This is IGN. For God's sake, man, what about the gumshoes? This is your IGN review of Mouse P.I. for Hire by Will Borger. I love noir. I'll take all kinds. The hard-boiled detective, the seedy crime story, neo-noir, classic pulp, you name it, I'm buying. So when Mouse P.I. for Hire sauntered onto my screen the way Ilsa walks into Rick's in Casablanca, I was pretty excited about it. But noir isn't just an aesthetic to be thrown on like an old coat as you're leaving your office at the behest of a leggy blonde. While Mouse P.I. for Hire clearly understands the style and tropes of classic noir films and novels, as well as 1930s cartoons more broadly, it doesn't seem to get why those things are there or how they are used to tell compelling stories. By fusing a hard-boiled detective mystery with a fast, retro-style FPS, developer Fumi Games has made a shooter that is thematically incoherent, with the apparent aspirations of its story contradicted at every point by the actual action. Of all the Steam libraries and all the PCs and all the world, Mouse P.I. for Hire walked into mine, and I wish I liked it more than I do. Mouse follows Jack Pepper, a private eye in a world where everyone is a mouse, after Wanda Fuller from the Mouseburg Herald sets him on the case of a missing magician. As you'd expect, that spirals into a much larger conspiracy that includes an attempt on a mayoral candidate's life and racially motivated mouse-on-mouse violence as bigger mice oppress the smaller shrews. Same as it ever was, even in Mouseburg, and the requisite twists and turns you'd expect from any good detective story make this tale solid enough. What bothers me, however, is how overly referential so much of it is. This is a world of mice, so everything is about cheese. Everything. A bad guy? He's a cheese-legger. Run into a lady mouse with a sultry voice? It'll be described as gorgonzola picante slapped on a mozzarella platter. Someone need to assure you they're telling the truth? They'll swear on Mama's cottage curds. This is charming initially. Then it never stops. Everything is a reference to the fact that everyone is a mouse and mice like cheese, and when it's not, instead it'll be a reference to an old cartoon, or the fact that this is a video game. I should have probably guessed the former when one of the first things I saw was a steamboat named Willie, but at least that and the spinach power-up that gives you Popeye arms is cute. Recalling the Igor joke from Young Frankenstein? Not so much. At least the shooting is better. This is the latest in a wave of boomer shooters inspired by old-school FPSs like Doom or Quake, and it's a decent one at that. You start with a pistol and Jack's fists, but soon you'll acquire a shotgun, dynamite, a James gun, which is just a Tommy gun, and more unique stuff like the De-Varnisher, which shoots what looks like Elmer's glue that melts the flesh from your enemy's bones, leaving only a skeleton. Even here, though, I have issues. Weapons can feel weak, especially the shotgun. It's got the audio kick of a pop gun, and there's a strange disconnect to seeing something that sounds like a kid's toy blow off some poor mouse's head as you paint the white of the world with the black ichor that spews out of his neck. Mouse P.I. for Hire nails the aesthetics of both the 1930s cartoons and the detective stories that inspired it, and it's also an amusing boomer shooter that largely feels good as you're playing it. But its haphazard marriage of noir storytelling tropes and shooter gameplay are often at odds with each other in uncomfortable ways that weaken both aspects, and the writing is so busy making references to other things that it's actually painful to sit through at times. This FPS is solid enough if you just want to blast some cartoon mice and not think about it too hard, but once you do, all you see are the seams where disparate ideas have been fused together, and no trench coat can hide the stink of that moldy cheese. Mouse P.I.'s IGN score? 6 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Mouse P.I. updates and for the latest game reviews, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.